Our Harmony Gym, as you know, I do one every week as well as a Universal Scripture lesson. And this one is called The Kissing Nun. There was a cab driver and in New York City, where else, and he picked up a nun, and the cab driver wouldn't stop staring at her. And she asks him, finally, why do you keep staring at me? And he says, well, I have a question to ask you, but I really don't want to offend you. And she said, well, my son, you cannot offend me. When you're as old as I am and have been a nun as long as I have, you get a chance to see and hear just about everything. And I'm sure that there's nothing you could say or ask that I would find offensive. He says, well, I've always had this fantasy to have a nun kiss me. Well, she said, let's see what we can do about that. Number one, you have to be single. And number two, you have to be a Catholic. Well, the cab driver was extremely excited. He said, yes, I'm single and I'm Catholic. Okay, says the nun, pull into the alley. So she fulfills his fantasy with a kiss that would make a lady blush. And when they get back on the road, the cab driver starts crying. She says, my dear child, why are you crying? Forgive me, but I've sinned, I lied. I must confess I'm married and I'm Jewish. And the nun says, that's okay, my name is Jeff and I'm going to a Halloween party. So all you people that aren't, isn't that funny? Okay, scripture lesson. This is serious now. I don't know if I should do fearlessness or the spiritual examination of oneself. So I'm kind of like a toss-up. So we'll do spiritual examination. From Matthew 7, verse 2, we read, and why beholdest the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considereth not the beam that is in your own eye? From the Hindu, to see another's fault is easy. To see one's own fault is really hard. From the Taoist, to attempt to correct others while one's own virtue is clouded is to set one's own virtue a task for which it is inadequate. From the Confucian, I daily examine myself on 3 points. Am I planning for others? Have I failed in concisiveness and in consideration? With my interaction with my friends, have I been insincere? Have I failed to practice what I have been taught? The Chippewa say to us that it is good to tell one's heart. And on the pages of our Universal Bible, our New Thought teaching tells us to know yourself, to know your strength, to know your weakness, thence build your being in the light of your inner knowledge, i.e., metaphysicians. May this universal scripture lesson open unto you the realization of our oneness with the All One.